Well, here I am in the cutout tree, as it were. You are not going to believe the scenario at the moment. So last night I camped down at a place that I wasn't supposed to camp. Managed to get out of that all fine. Now I just come into this little, it's called a vista. So you can come in, park, you're allowed to stay here 8 hours and you can check out. It's quite an amazing view. While I'm in here just getting a bit organised, I met Joseph and Mikhailov and their little daughter and 2 little dogs. And they very kindly, actually they gave me some breakfast, and it was, what do they call those things? A bagel and some jam and all that, which is very nice. And a cup of Earl Grey tea. Woohoo, that was nice. But at the same time, I've got a bit of a problem with the internet here, which is pretty patchy. And they've allowed me to use their Starlink. Excellent. And rather than me start up my generator, which is very noisy at the moment, without the muffler on, they've let me plug into the power on the bus. So it's just such a great way to start the day. Everything's looking really good. So this week's video is probably going to go up, which day is Saturday, which is Australia's Sunday, and you'll be able to see my next adventure. So I'll go and finish off this little bit, and hopefully we'll all be up by this afternoon, which is yours tomorrow. Here I am out in the middle of Zip Zip, and I've just been camping last night, and I pulled into this little area. Joseph here, who I met, and his wife, little girl and 2 dogs, they were kind of just chilling out, having some breakfast. We started chatting. Now, how long have you been on the road for?
We're brand new to this, so about a week and a half.
Okay.
We've been traveling full time, mainly doing mechanic work, fixing air brakes, fixing coolant.
I was going to say, you've done a fair bit of work on this, haven't you?
A ton of work. It's been a full-time job since, oh goodness, about last September. We've been building this thing, getting it prepared, getting it ready.
Now for there will be a handful of guys out there, and gals, who are into the motors and all that sort of stuff. So what's the story with the motor?
Well, this motor is it's a 5.9 liter Cummins with an Allison transmission.
Massive.
It's a blessing because it's one of the best pairings you can get in a school bus, and I had no idea when I bought it. Zero. So I just bought a bus. I'm like, my plan is I'm gonna fix it up, I'm gonna make this awesome, and then I just happened to get one of the best engines you can get in a school bus. So.
Excellent. Check this out. I'm in Trinidad, right? Not Jamaica, man. Trinidad as in California coast. So not too far away from Oregon. And staying in a casino. Now the casino, I'd like to see the Melbourne or Sydney Crown Casino do this. What they do is they'll let you park your RV there for 3 days, $20. You stay 1 day, 2 days or 3 days, it's always going to be $20. Then they give you little cards to go and play on the machines because they obviously want to get you in. And here's the thing, you walk in there and you go into the, I don't know, the gambling section, and people come blah, 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 and all that sort of stuff. Almost everyone was smoking. And the other funny thing is, in the bathroom or restroom, or what we call the toilet or the dunny, you go in there and everything is automated. So you go in there, and we were talking in the sitting down area. So you go in there and you can get a big, like it's a big fine, like cooking paper that you put on the seat to do what you've got to do. That's fine, and then you back it up and you get on with the business. The only trouble is I won't give you all the details, but it's a bit disconcerting. And the other thing is the quality of toilet paper. They spent literally millions on this, and the paper they give you for the toilet paper, it's obviously made of wood, but you can almost feel the raspberry wood filing still in the toilet paper. So I don't know what that is. And obviously you go into the sink and everything's automated, and soap comes out and water comes out and paper towels come out and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it's quite interesting, but really, really good value. I mean, $20, that's real cheap for your accommodation. Good morning, top of the morning to you. A bit chilly, so I'm down at Trinidad, or up Trinidad, Northern California, and just about to head off. Put water in the RV, which is great, with the new hose I bought. Rather clever idea. It's the this system here screws onto the tap, and the other one just does what it does. Oh, you can put a little handheld on it, but I decided this morning I wouldn't bother. And it's good to see that this actually screws into itself, because that's always a bit of a problem when you're traveling, when you put water through it and then later on you put it in the boot or wherever you put it, the water leaks out. It's a mess. So it looks like this is not going to leak. Good thing. You see the clouds coming through. I think it's about 13 degrees here, just a part of California. I was listening to the radio earlier on, and I noticed Chico, which is near Willows, which is where I first started off, they've got 100 degrees today. So we're probably talking about 250 miles or maybe 400 kilometers from here. They've got a really, really hot day. So I'm happy to be traveling today on a nice, pretty mild day. It's nice to travel in the mild, not so much in the hot days. And yeah, I'll just grab some breakfast and vamos. Now these trees here, those that are redwood, are in fact redwood. There's no sequoia here. So the redwood here belong because they're coastal. They're huge coastal trees, and they're well protected by themselves because they've got really, really thick bark. And they're fed most of the time. So during summer they have a lot of mist come through, and that's where they get a lot of their moisture from. So it's just, that's there you go. I'm out on one of the walks now. There's a few walks around the camp, so you might want to check those out. The one I really wanted to go to was it's a 5-mile walk there and a 5-mile walk back, and 10 miles for me, which is 16 kilometers. Just a bit too much. I got too many other things to do, but that's just me prioritizing. So the place you can walk to, and you can actually drive to, but if you're driving you have to get a permit. That's called Fern Canyon. And Fern Canyon is quite interesting too, because what happens is that's where they shot some of the Jurassic Park, and you can actually download a map and check out some of those places. But as I say, 10 miles is a bit much. The trees, quite strange, the trees actually look after themselves. You see these where there's like almost, well, there's 4 of them all kind of clumped together. They do that to give each other strength so that they can get on and do the growing. So that's quite an interesting thing. The bark themselves is really, really thick and has quite a type of acid in there. So they've been known to being struck by lightning and smouldered, but not gone beyond that, just because of the very nature of the acid and the thick bark that they've got, which is quite handy. It's very hard to find the right words to give you an idea of dimensions, but these trees seriously are just massive. These coast redwood trees, they're also called Sequoia sempervirens, are the tallest trees in the world. They can grow up to and over 370 feet, 100 and something metres. Hopefully this will help a little bit. So you already know the height of me. And this is the base of one of the trees. It really is, I guess, probably maybe. I'm just about to head off from this campground, and the campground is called Elk Prairie Campground. Redwood, it's in the Redwood area, so a lot of these trees here are redwood, which is just, I really hope somehow I've been able to give you some idea of the dimensions of these trees. They really are massive. And it was just a thrill yesterday when I was driving in to see all the elk. And now the elk are called Roosevelt elk, and they are very big. And you don't want to mess with them. From memory, I think it's around about August, they come into their mating season, and the bull elk get very tetsy, very cranky. It doesn't take much to upset them, and if you upset them, there's a couple of YouTube videos on that where people have said, oh no, it's just, you know, it's a nice looking animal, it's fine, and they've got out of their cars, got back in their cars pretty quick, but the elk has still damaged it. Now, I showed you earlier on, or I can show you even now, when I was in the tourist office, I know it's awful to look at and to think about, but there's an elk head up on the mantle. Now the reason that's there, that's sort of an infamous elk from this area that played up and played up and played up, and eventually they had to cull. Now when I say played up, during the mating season, what he would do is he'd come up down to the centre and see his reflection in the window and just attack the windows. So he smashed 10 to 20 windows. They replaced it, and they did that over, I think, 4 seasons in a row, or maybe 5, and eventually they said this just can't go on. It's just because as I said, in the mating season they get very aggressive. So yeah, it is an awful thing to see him mounted up there, but also a really good idea in case you don't get a chance to see one up close. I was very privileged to find a handful of them yesterday as I came in. Anywho, it's time to hit the road, so let's go. Well, here I am right out in the middle of the woods, the redwoods, and I'd love to tell you some history about it and some sizes of the trees. All I can say is they're very old and they're very big and very popular. There's a lot of cars coming past, and just had a guy pass me on a push bike, so there's lots of things happening here. Let me show you around. So this is, I'm just going to show you one of the, I just pulled over the side of the road. I'm just going to show you one of the trees. Now I'm going to stay within the shot just to give you a bit of an idea. This is a random tree I pulled over for. As you can see, it's pretty wide and very, very tall. Check it out. Yep, that's tall. And as I said earlier on, I'm in the middle of the highway. I suppose you call this a highway or a byway. People passing by a fair bit. Comes an RV, fellow RVer. Friendly wave. Another friendly wave. Yeah, look, it's pretty big trees. I'm going to get some information and run it across the bottom there just to give you an idea on a little bit of the history and a little bit of the sizes of these trees. But it's great, excluding the traffic. I'm making use of this particular shot because there's not too many people around. There's been a continuous flow of people, understandably. It's a tourist spot. This is called Big Tree, understandably. And I can't get it in the shot because there's just no scale that's going to fit. So as you can see, it is a very big tree, and a very clever sign over there that says up that path there's another big tree. And if you're looking for more, there's another big tree up there. So I'll get out the shot and you can appreciate it, and I'll try and give you a bit of a zoom, a bit of an indication of just how big this tree is. Thank you. I'm in the Redwoods, which is north of California, and I've just pulled into this place. This is one of my big ticket items to see in the States, is the Redwood tree where you can drive a car through it. And that's a car, it's not an RV, it's not a truck, it's not a maybe a motorbike, but it's basically a car. So I finally found it. It was a little hard to find, I've got to say. It's a little town called Klamath, K-L-A-M-A-T-H. And the lady at the booth was quite sweet. She was telling me all about it, but I had to go to the local tourist office, and the tourist office girl there was very kind, and I'm very surprised that they didn't have maps to give to people, but nonetheless she described it, and then she showed me on her little internet map as well, so I found it fairly easy. Well, here I am in the cutout tree, as it were. So I've had 3 or 4 cars come through so far, and one of them was just, I'm not sure, I need to go back and look at the footage, but it was so close, it was millimetres. He kept too close to one side. But anywho, I wasn't directing any of it because I just thought if it all goes pear-shaped, nothing to do with me. As you can see, it is pretty big. So that's how wide it is. So it's probably almost about 2 metres there. And depending on where your car was, this is your lowest part of it. The highest part would probably be over 2.5 metres high. This one here would probably be about 2 metres. So you would need to be careful. Now there's another tree that you can go in California where you do the same thing, and I'm pretty sure that's the one that's got the paint scrapes on it. So yeah, quite a place, quite a little treat. Driving into my little campsite, number 76, last one available. River reservation, which covers the community centre and behind me the recreation centre, and I'm actually camped up at the casino. So I don't understand the politics of it all, but I'm pretty sure that the Indigenous people were given this land to do what they saw fit, and in here I'm just about to go and have a shower. Today is the Friday special, so I'll get it at half price. So not only can I go in there and have a shower, but I can also, towels are supplied, but I can also use the basketball court. There's got a full workout gym there, and there's probably a couple of other facilities, but I'm just after the shower today. So I'll go and check it out and freshen up. Well, I'm grateful to climb out of that very hot RV for the moment. Currently in there it's 102 degrees, or about 39 in Australian terms. So this week was quite a lot of an adventure, quite a lot of fun. I ended up staying at 2 reservations. One was Trinidad, I know, and the other one was Bear River. They're both almost free. In fact, one of them was totally free, which really helped a lot. Met some great North Californians on the way. That's Joseph, his wife Michaela, and their daughter Rosie, and the 2 little dogs. They helped me out. They fed me for a little bit, and they gave me some great ideas and gave me a couple of gifts to help me in my journey. So that was very, very great, and I'm very grateful for it. And yeah, so this next week, and because I'm not as good a sleuth as I thought I was, I tried to film the elks when they nearly ran into the car. They ran in front of it, and they were very close, and they're big animals, but I did miss that magic shot. I got a couple of still shots, but it's not quite the same. And I got to see the giant redwoods of California. Now the redwoods I've seen now, they're redwoods, and I'm just about to travel to Yosemite and check out the other redwoods, but not called redwoods, they're called sequoia. And they are 2 completely different things. If you're listening to my video on the way through, you'll understand why. One's in the coast and one's inland a little bit. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, I'll just keep waiting until eventually you might. And if you think the video is worth sharing, that too would be great. So until next time, this is Paul Wheel Drive, signing off.